Alright guys, so here we are for episode number 15 of the F1 2014 Career Mode Championship. This time we're in Japan, and this track always throws up some interesting racing, so I'm very much looking forward to it and seeing how we go in this race. As you guys know, in the previous race in Singapore, we came very close to losing the win against Lewis Hamilton, who started down the order, and he was a man on the mission, but he's going to be awfully hard to stop this weekend, as once again we have a sort of wet affected weekend, and as you can see, qualifying one, I think we got 4th place there, so decent pace in wet conditions so far. I actually made an effort to do extra laps in practice this time. I normally don't do too many laps in practice unless I have some R&D testing to do, so I thought I'd do the extra miles, and I think it might have helped me here in my qualifying pace so far, as it looks like I think we're actually going to go purple on this lap if things stay as they are. And it looks like they have. We've absolutely smashed the field here in Q2. 1.2 seconds clear of Lewis Hamilton in 2nd place. So we're looking very good at the moment. That time was set on a used set of wet tyres. So definitely looking good at the moment. But now heading into Q3, we've got some intermediate conditions set for us here in this session. And that might change the game a little bit here, as sometimes if you're quick on wet tyres, you might not be as quick on the intermediate tyres. Sometimes you can change the balance of the car, but either way, we ended up in 1st place at the end of the first run, and from there I think I decided to go back to the pits and just wait it out and go back out at the end of the session possibly, and we've got to 2 minutes. I'm going to change my tyres, put on a fresh set of inters. We've only got 2 more sets to use in the race, so I need to be wary of that. That's why I didn't want to do too many laps on them. Put on 3 laps of fuel, and then I thought just at the last second, I thought I'd just fast forward to the end of the session and just save that extra set of inters, and it's only just worked out, because look at Lewis Hamilton, only 1,000th slower than us in Q3, and that is, I'm pretty sure that is the closest qualifying session I've ever had on this game at least. So very, very close as we head into the race now. Set for a dry start, but 71% chance of rain to occur over the course of the race, so it's going to probably be another wet race. So I'm kind of lucky that I saved a lot of wet and intermediate tyres in the end, so I think we're looking good. In terms of the strategy there, option prime, I'm still debating on what strategy I should use, because if the rain comes down, say 10 or 15 laps into the race, maybe I think we could get away with one less pit stop by starting on the primes, and I'm just sort of weighing up the risk of what happens if it doesn't rain. If I stay on primes, the AI are going to get an undercut for the rest of the race, but I thought I'd take the risk. I'm pretty sure it's going to rain, so we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it rains, and we have the pace to keep the AI at bay as well. So here we are in Japan. Let's go to the race. Alright, so here we are in Japan, starting from pole position, just like we did in Singapore, but this time we're on the prime tyres, so it might be a little bit of a slow getaway here, as away we go here in Japan. It looks like Hamilton has got up to a fairly decent start there, but still overheating those rear tyres. Absolutely nothing you can do about it when you've got no traction control, but either way, Hamilton backs out of it coming into turn 1. There was absolutely no way I was going to give him any more room than what he needed there, and he just, I don't know, he could have taken the lead into turn 1, but it seems like he didn't want it. So that's cost him coming in to this middle sector now. We can see Vettel and Bottas have now climbed up into 2nd and 3rd. So the Mercedes is struggling at the early phase of this race so far. The end of lap 2 now, and we can see Vettel is on the attack now as we come up to turn 1 now. And just then my engineer said, rain is coming down in about 10 minutes time, so it looks like this strategy might actually work out. So as long as the rain comes down just after the AI pit, then we're going to be in the money here. We're going to pretty much gain an entire pit stop on the field, and surely, providing, oh no, we've lost it on the back end. Looks like we got caught up on an auto spin curb there as we were just driving over the curb. We had no steering lock at all, and the game has completely screwed us here. Look at this. It's just completely thrown us into the wall there, and this is catastrophic here for our race here, because we've given up the lead of the race. Thankfully, we didn't get any damage there from the wall there. I don't know how there was no damage there, but either way, Hamilton has skipped through, Vettel has skipped through, and so too has Rosberg. So this has been really costly for us here. As you can see, just going over the curb, I didn't have any steering lock, on the wheel. It was completely straight, so there was absolutely no excuse as to why I should have gone in the wall there. And Steve Hood, the creative designer of Codemasters F1 games, says there aren't any auto spin curbs on this game, but either way, that is honestly, that is, you don't need better proof than that. But here we are, lap 4, and I think on the engineer's radio we can hear that the rain is scheduled to come down in 5 minutes time now, so it's actually going to be very close as to whether the AI switch on to intermediate tyres as well. So it's getting very close here in Japan. Speaking of close, Ricciardo getting fairly close as we come into the spoon curve there, getting caught up on another auto spin curve there. I've absolutely no idea what's going on with these curbs around this track. I thought they were fixed for this game, but apparently not. But either way, we can see Ricciardo, once again, he's a little bit further along this time than what he was on the previous lap. But once again, he just backs out of it as we make a mistake there on the second part of the spoon curve. And that allows Perez to skip up into P5 now. So we'll need to get back past him if we can. Thankfully, this Ferrari does have a decent amount of straight line speed. So we'll try to use that to the best of our ability. It's really the corners that we're struggling in, but we try to go around the outside of Perez. They're almost touching his side pod there, and I don't know how we didn't make contact there. If we did and had realistic damage on, that could have ended in disaster, but somehow we managed to avoid a catastrophic crash now. And as you can see on the slow-mo replay, you'll just see how close we get to Perez here. We're just 100% grip committed here as we go through 130R around the outside, and just for a moment there, the two of us sort of got sucked into each other's side pods. I guess it's a bit of an aerodynamic effect when you're running side by side with another car sometimes. But either way, lap 5, we can see the rain is slowly starting to come down now. So any tick of the clock, and I think we'll be thinking about going on to the intermediate tyres. And if the rain comes down soon enough, as we almost go 3 wide now into turn 1, that was very close there as Perez runs wide at the exit of turn 1. If the rain comes down soon enough, then the AI might just go straight onto the inches before their scheduled stop. So I'm hoping the rain, stays away for a little bit longer, and then after they make their stops, then the rain can bucket down as hard as it likes, really. So we'll see how it goes. But lap 7, we're really starting to struggle on these prime tyres now. For whatever reason, these primes just, I don't know, they just don't have any durability in comparison to the options, and that's really frustrating, as some of the cars ahead are really getting away, as some cars now have made their pit stops, including Alonso, and they've actually gone onto the prime tyres as we battle with Ricciardo into turn 1. He actually backs out of it there. He could have gone through for P4 there, but he decided to back out of it. But either way, lap 10, we can see Rosberg has made his pit stop, his first pit stop of the race. Hamilton and the car in front, I think it was Vettel, I'm not too sure. Yeah, it was. They've just made their stops as well, but they've regained their track position. So unfortunately, we won't be able to hold up those guys and sort of dampen their race, I guess. But end of lap 10, we can see that's Rosberg trying to get past us now, and I think I'm actually coming into the pits at the end of this lap. I don't want to stretch it out any longer. I think it's just about the perfect time to come in for a set of intermediate tyres. I think the crossover period will be the next lap, so fingers crossed it works out, and we can make some massive amounts of time on the AI, who might stay out a little bit longer, as we almost spin into the pit wall there. That would have been absolutely disastrous. That could have been our race over then and there, but thankfully we're still in the race, and now we're coming in for our first pit stop of the race. It couldn't come soon enough, really, because those prime tyres, they were absolutely terrible. And once again, I don't know, it's another strategy call that I kind of regret. I think I could have maybe just about stretched out the options to lap 10 maybe, but I don't know, we'll see. The biggest thing that really hurt me in this race was the auto spin curve. If we would have maintained P1, I think, we would have been able to keep the cars behind me, pretty much. But lap 12, we can see my teammate Alonso, and I think it's Rosberg came in for a set of inters on this lap, and crucially, we actually jumped them in that stop. Team radio. Wow, okay, so that's very interesting. Looking on the minimap there, Alonso has just retired from the race there. He's only had his intermediate tyres on for a couple of laps, and for whatever reason, he's run over some debris, and now we have a safety car, so this is going to save our race here. We're going to be able to rejoin onto the back of the queue behind Hamilton and Vettel, so This is really going to save us here. I'm actually going to come in for a new set of intermediate tyres because I've had them on for how many laps? 5 laps, and I guess the tyre wear, for whatever reason, it's actually been a little bit harsher than what I thought it was going to be, so I thought I'd come in for a new set of tyres now. We actually gained a pit stop over the cars behind me, so I'm using that now to, I guess, get a free pit stop here. I'm only going to lose one position to, I think it was Rosberg, so, you know, you may as well take it for a fresh set of inters. It gives us now a bit of flexibility as we head into the second phase of this race. I think we could, it'd be a real stretch to make it to the very end of the race without a stop, but I think with one more stop, I think we can get there. Maybe the AI have to make 2 stops, depending on how harsh the tyre wear is for those guys. But I'm feeling good about this. We have a fresh set of tyres. The AI, you know, they only stopped a couple of laps ago, but we have fresher tyres. So as I said before, we have that flexibility. So I'll be looking to play that into my advantage if I can. But unfortunately, with Alonso retiring just before, it's going to make things a lot harder for us in terms of catching Mercedes in the Constructors' Championship. So I've got that, I guess, that extra motivation to do better in this race. So either way, into lap 16 now, we're getting ready for a restart here in Suzuka. And I'm just hoping that Rosberg gives the cars ahead a little bit of a hurry up. He's leaving quite a big gap to the cars in front. And I guess that's something that annoys me a little bit about these safety car restarts. It's almost impossible to attack cars in front of you just because there's such a gap between them. And look at that, Rosberg is essentially gone already, so he's about a second up the road. But Hamilton and Vettel have just come into the pits for their second pit stop, so that's given us second place. And on the very next lap, Rosberg is now coming for his stop as well. So seemingly the tyre wear is a lot harsher than what even I thought it was going to be. It seems to be fairly harsh for the AI as well. So now effectively we lead this race by a whole pit stop over our championship rivals. Don't worry about Ricciardo and Button too much because they actually didn't stop in the pit stop window, or in the safety car period rather. As you can see, a couple laps later, that's now Ricciardo coming in for his stop. So we actually lead this race on merit now. So we've somehow actually saved our race here through that safety car period, and I guess good calls through strategy. So I decided now that everyone else came in for their stops, I thought I'd go safe as well and come in for another set of inters. And, you know, bring home this set of tyres to the end of the race. And I think effectively we should rejoin in the lead once again, thanks to, I guess, the strict tyre wear around Suzuka. So we'll see how we go. Actually, Rosberg is rejoined in the lead of the race, but I have a sneaking suspicion that he needs to stop once again. So we'll see how that plays out. There's 5 laps to go, and we rejoin in front of Perez, who has been, I guess he's been a bit of a dark horse in this race. He's been making some good lap time. He's had decent speed, so there's no reason why he can't get a podium in this race. But lap 23, we take back the lead of the race. Rosberg is pitted, and I think Hamilton stopped as well because he's P18 on the timing there. But lap 25, the track has dried out quite considerably, and that's because the skies really cleared up, and then the track temperature really started to rise quite a bit. Now I think it's time to come in for a set of dry tyres. At the end of this lap, we get poor traction out of the spoon curve, and now Ricciardo is taking the lead once again, so we need to get back in front of him as we go through 130R, just about side by side now, and it's very hard to make the car stick through there because the current tyres just aren't working with the current conditions. So as we see Ricciardo just absolutely parking the bus there. I'll be coming into the pits at the end of this lap. I'm not sure if the AI are going to come in, because for whatever reason they decide not to come in the last 3 laps of a race to change tyres. Bit of a glitch, I'm not too sure, but either way we're going to try and make it work into our favour here. How's the pit stop? Yeah, solid pit stop there, 3.7 seconds as you'd expect from Ferrari, but rejoining on the track. I think we're going to be down the order here, maybe even outside the points here. We can see a big train of cars now coming on the start-finish straight, and Hamilton is right behind that queue, and I'd really like to rejoin in front of those guys if I can, and it looks like I have. So Hamilton, it looks like he's going to be struggling to score points in this race, so we'll need to, I guess, bridge the gap to him as much as we can and maybe claw back some positions in this race. I think for this next lap, I think the intermediate tyres might just about have the pace over me, but we'll see how we go. We just need to build temperature in these tyres, and then I think for the rest of the race, we should be a lot quicker. So what I'm aiming for, as we actually get caught on the grass there, almost spun in front of Perez, and our race almost ended right then and there once again. My aim for this race now is, I think, just to get a top 5 as we get past Grosjean, and Verne is going to be pretty slow coming into this hairpin. So I guess with each passing second, the track is going to get drier and drier, and as such, we're going to get quicker and quicker. So I'm looking forward to this finish here as we got the inside of Setil. We pretty much overtook him like he wasn't even there, but cutting to the end of lap 26 now, we can see Hulkenberg and Massa in front of us, and I think this is our target. Probably our finishing position in this race. We might be able to catch Rosberg, but I think we'll have to really push in order to catch him. But either way, lap 27, we're actually going to pass him, and now we're into the podium positions. We're going purple on this lap, and the cars in front of us, Button and Ricciardo, are only just up the road, so I think maybe, just maybe, we could catch them and win this race. Around the outside of Button now into the spoon curve, and look at that, that's Ricciardo just up the road. So if we absolutely nail these final 2 corners, I think we could win this race. So what we've got to do now, put it up into fast, just use as much fuel as we can. 1 corner to go now. Let's try and nail this as much as we can. Which way are we going to go? Inside, outside? I think it's going to be outside. It turns to the inside now for the final corner, and now we've taken the lead of this race on the final lap, final corner, and out of nowhere, we've won this race, the Japanese Grand Prix.
Brilliant. That's the double. Pole and the win.
Are you serious? Out of nowhere, just like in Malaysia's Season 2, we've managed to pull off the miracle and win the race pretty much off the final corner. And Daniel Ricciardo, 2.5 seconds was the margin in the end. I just can't believe we managed to do that. Ricciardo was a whole pit stop in front of us, and the tyres for the first lap, they really weren't up to temperature, but somehow we managed to really catch him on that final lap and pass him. And this is going to do us a world of good in the driver's standings. Lads, can we absolutely smash the likes on this video? That'd be much appreciated for this race. I think, personally, it's probably my favourite race in career mode ever. And that's saying a lot, considering some of the videos I've made over the past few years. Driver's standings, we're leading over Lewis Hamilton by 9 points. So, what a crucial race to take the championship lead. And we couldn't have done it in better style. Lewis Hamilton, who finished 11th in this race, he was looking bulletproof just a couple of races ago, and now out of nowhere, he's lost the championship lead. And I don't know if he's got a response for this, because some of the races coming up are some of my strongest. Russia, we won that race in, I think it was a Ferrari or a Williams we did that race in a few months ago, doing a one-stop. And Brazil, you know, Austin, Texas, and Abu Dhabi, they're sort of low-deg tyre wear tracks, so we should be fairly even with Mercedes for the rest of this championship. So it's going to be awfully close. I'm very much looking forward to it. Hope you guys are too. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you like this video as well. But until my next race, guys, I'll see you next time.